At least 2 years since the Doom Eternal soundtrack was supposed to be on Spotify. Let's take a look at what's going on, where it could be, and why this is happening, and what the community says. So, on April 18th, 2020, id Software tweeted that the original soundtrack was going to be on Spotify, iTunes, and more in the coming weeks. And if my math serves me correctly, it's been like 104 plus weeks now. So what's going on? What's the community saying about this? When we take a look at this Slayer and Marauder in battle right here, that it's been 2 years. This is true. I don't know who's going to win that fight. I mean, what's interesting here is people are even tagging Hugo. It comes to something when the best part about my buying Doom Eternal Collector Edition was getting the soundtrack, uploaded locally to Spotify to mix it. Really, when's this going to release, Hugo? And we see Hugo's, well, wait a minute, that's not Hugo. That's not Hugo at all. Nope, definitely not. And I admit that I actually tagged him too. So we need answers. What's going on here? People have been checking the Spotify 4 times a day, waiting on it to see what's going on. And people that don't even like metal or play the game are still into it. I mean, you take a look at what this guy said here. His friend played a Kanye West song and then the Doom Eternal soundtrack back to back. We clearly see that this is something that is a big issue. So what's going on? Well, there are legal delays for sure. It seems like that with the whole Mick snafu and everything that went into that, there's a lot of sides to it. We'll never know the full story because Marty did post an open letter on Reddit showing, hey, here's our side, here's what happened. And a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't know this information. This is very enlightening. They didn't actually say it like that. But then, of course, people would say, nah, you guys are telling a half-truth. But that's just the thing about it. Like, I know it's been 2 years, and I really don't know if we're actually going to get anything. I know YouTubers have done due diligence and hard work mixing things together. Coma's channel, which has been re-uploaded on other channels as tracks have really been putting in the work in that regard. But here's the thing about it. We're never going to know what truly happened behind those closed doors. Never. I mean, even not everyone at id Software and Bethesda probably will. Did everybody do everything correctly and did everything go like we all wanted it to? No, I mean, maybe both sides could have done things better, but that's just something that we're never going to have the information on because it's not really, I guess, our business. No, hold on, don't cancel me yet. I know by me saying it's not any of our business, people are going to be very upset with that and saying, hey, we do deserve to know. We do deserve. And yeah, I mean, we do actually need to know a little bit about it, but I just honestly don't think we're going to get the full story, no matter how much we want it. And I kind of do want it myself, but really we're just not going to get it. So we have to look at like why this really matters to a lot of people, and it does, because I was reading a random YouTube comment that David left about the Tag soundtrack and saying that, we probably weren't going to get one. I don't know exactly what video that was on, but you got to think about like why this matters to people. When people listen to the Doom soundtrack, this is not just like your regular radio song, like, oh, that's a good tune, I really like that. There are people that work out to this music. They use it as motivation, as fuel to push harder and longer. Harder, better, faster, stronger, if I may. And they really have that special place with it. This is not just a local band. This is something that is paired up with the game. And I think that's actually what makes it stronger, because the emotional attachment that a lot of people have with this soundtrack and OST is beyond just listening to a song. And I want you to think about this with me. Interactive type of video here. Think back to a song that has a lot of meaning to you and figure it out in your head. You probably think of something if there is one out there. If not, that's okay too. But figure out why. Why? Ask yourself why that song matters to you. And when you have Doom, a game that people grew up on, they have so much fun with, it has this new combat loop, everything is so exciting, this is awesome, that music has that attachment to them. Whether they're working out, trying to get huge gains, I actually used to be into powerlifting myself, or whether they just use it as an escape to get away from stuff like in the background, because there are no lyrics other than, the car and took chanting. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that it's more than just a song to a lot of people, right? You really have to consider the music when you play this game, how exciting it is. I have literally been playing, I bet you have too, like seriously, let me know if you have in the comments, or if I'm just crazy. I've been playing this game and I've like curled my toes up or tightened my gut, and then after the battle finishes and the arena's done, I'm like, oh, I was literally flexing my muscles here, and I did not realize it till the battle was over. And that's a testament to Doom. I mean, that really says how good of a game this is to make it do that to you. But when you look at really what that means to someone, all those positive moments that they have whenever this has happened and this game has been played, that's why it matters. When you beat the icon and that triumphant music comes on, you walk away with At Doom's Gate, which actually was supposed to be Into Sandy City, Mick said, but it got rejected. That feeling right there brings it back to you. That intro, when it drops, has a power. I mean, you cannot show any Doom fan, new or old, At Doom's Gate, and then be like, oh, that song kind of sucks. That means nothing to me. Every Doom fan out there has a reason and a meaning to listen to a song like At Doom's Gate because of the power that it holds and the meaning behind it and what it truly feels like to you on a deeper level. Now, before you say, Allstin, you're getting all this mumbo-jumbo on me here, even go back to the classics. I mean, to go further, that song actually came out in '93 by Mr. Robert Prince, aka Bobby, so the old guys, the original Doomers, that means something to us too. E1M1, I mean, that's where it all started. After that menu comes out, you go right in, guns blazing, I mean, after a moment, to E1M1. Now it carries through 30 years later. What about those that grew up with the original Doom? This song is as old as we are. This song started when we were kids. Some of us in diapers, some of us not even born yet. And it's still continuing on in this day. And it's not just continuing on this day, it has power behind it. And as we get into the final point, I want to ask you to check out the new supporter feature for the channel. If you want to help me out and have some cool stuff, click the link in the description. I really appreciate it. So when we look at just what this means to people, it's more than that. Wait a minute, more than that? How so? Argent Metal. That's how. So if you're not familiar, Argent Metal is, well, it's become a new subgenre of Doom music, and it has a whole group of artists that are making Doom-like tracks. Of course, you know, Doom has a mix of gent and electronic tones to it, but what they've tried to do, like you take a look at Jeffrey Day or a lot of other people out there, iMagma, they're making Doom-based tracks because this music has influenced them, and they know how awesome it is. So when we have, how does this all relate to the Spotify thing and the soundtrack? When we have something that we thought we were going to get, we were looking forward to getting, and then there's just that radio silence over 2 years, we begin to wonder, like, what's going on? And it's not just the 2-year mark that it's happened. If you go back and look over a year, over months, people are wondering what's going on. And they just want that convenience of, if you have the collector's edition, of course, you can listen to the lossless files and super great quality, I'm sure. But for not, what if you use Spotify? What if you use iTunes or whatever else? You're like, hey, I want to have this track on here. Especially since if you have this on YouTube, you're not really supposed to do like a one-to-one upload on YouTube. That's why people do the mixes, because it's a copyright issue. So I guess it really puts us between a rock and a hard place, doesn't it? Because we want to listen to the tunes outside of just the game. I do in my car. We can do it on a YouTube video. What if we want to do Spotify? What if we want to do another method? We can't do it when we thought we had it, but we just don't. So where does this leave us at the end of the day, though? I mean, how can we get around it? We can use YouTube and the like for the sounds and the tracks that we do have, but there's really not much else we can do other than make the best of the current situation. And what else I would recommend is looking into some of the things that David has done for Tag 2. He uploaded some studio versions of tracks, and I did a little breakdown of them here on your screen. If you click it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this. I'm Allstin. Thank you for watching.